morning, class. Today we are going to review fractions to start, and then we'll be moving into equivalent fractions. So, if I were to ask you on this number line, what would this fraction be? 1/2. Very good. And now, what about on this number line? What would this fraction be? 2/4. Very nice. Wait a minute. I'm wondering why exactly 1/2 and 2/4 are right on top of each other if we look at the number line. Do you think maybe they could be equal or equivalent? I think they could be, and I'm going to show you how they are. So, I already know that 1/2 is simplified as far as it can go, because the only number that I can divide 2 by is 1 and 2 again. Now, when I look at 2/4 though, I can divide that further because I know 4 is not a prime number. So let's do something that we've already talked about so far this year. It's called factors. Does anyone remember what a factor is? Very good. A factor is a number that can be multiplied with another number to reach a given number. So let's work on our factor trees here for 2 and 4. What are two numbers that I can multiply together to get 2? 1 and 2. Very good. And what about some factors of 4? 1 and 4. And there's one other. 2 and 2. Very good. Now, what factors do 2 and 4 have in common? 1, yes. And also 2. Very good. So, if I take 2 divided by 2, I get 1. And if I take 4 divided by 2, I get 2. Now, looking at this fraction, I would put 1 here in the numerator because that's where 2 was. And then I would put 2 in the denominator. Now, is 1/2 equal to 1/2? Yes, it is. So, 2/4 equals 1/2. And that's how we know that these fractions are equivalent. Alright, class, now we're going to try another example, and then we're going to do some activities so that you will learn more about equivalent fractions. So I have 3 more number lines set up here. What is this number line divided into? Thirds. Very good. So what would this fraction be? 1/3. Correct. And what is this number line divided into? 1/6. Very good. What would this one be? 2/6. And now, what's this one divided into? 1/8. What would this fraction be? 4/8. Now, based off of these number lines, which two do you think are going to be equivalent? 1/3 and 2/6. Let's find out if they are by doing our factor trees. Alright, now here I have 2/6 set up. So let's do our factor trees. What are the factors of 2? 1 and 2. And what are the factors of 6? 1 and 6. And 2 and 3. So, what matches up between 2 and 6 factor-wise? 2. Very good. So if I take 2 divided by 2 equals 1. And if I do 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So I put 1 in the numerator and 3 in the denominator. So does 1/3 equal 1/3? Yes, it does. So 2/6 and 1/3 are equivalent. Let's try our other fraction. So I already found out that 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. Now we're going to see if 4/8 is equivalent to 1/3 and 2/6. So what are the factors of 4? 1 and 4. And what else? Since we can go down further with 4. 2 and 2. Very good. And what about 8? Yes, I could do 1 and 8. But if we want to make it easier on ourselves, we want to try and divide it a little bit lower. So what are the other factors? 2 and 4. And can we go any lower? 2 times 2. So what do they have in common? 2, yes, and I see 2 other numbers, but only 1 is helpful. 4, very good. Now, if you want to make it easier on yourself, simplifying, I would go with the bigger number that they have in common. So let's do 4 divided by 4, which equals 1. And 8 divided by 4, which equals 2. So if I put the 1, because it matches up with the 4, in the numerator, and I put 2 in the denominator, I get 1/2. Does 1/2 equal 1/3 and 2/6? No, it does not. So, looks like our equivalent fractions are 1/3 and 2/6. Let's move on to our next activity.